fuses.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to my colleagues on the committee. Thank you to our witnesses. I never expected today to be quite as emotional for me as it has been. I've talked to a number of you and gotten to know you. I think it's important to tell you right now, though. You guys may individually feel a little broken. You guys all talk about the effects you have to deal with, and you talk about the impact of that day. But you guys won.
Oh, I don't laugh at people for crying. I'm not laughing at him for crying.
Democracies are not defined by our bad days.
He's pulling the Bill Clinton.
We're defined by how we come back from bad days. How we take accountability for that. And for all the overheated rhetoric surrounding this committee, our mission is very simple. It's to find the truth, and it's to ensure accountability. Like most Americans, I'm frustrated that 6 months after a deadly insurrection breached the United States.
I wanted to hear the rest of it. I want to hear the rest of the deadly insurrection that breached the United States Capitol. Deadly because police officers shot Ashley Babbitt. Deadly because apparently they used concussive grenades near one Roseanne Boyland, which might have led to her medical emergency. You know what's amazing, everybody? I didn't actually fully appreciate this. When they talk about medical emergencies, and there were 6 people who died of medical emergencies that day. Let's assume that there were 100,000 people there. There might have been more, there might have been less. It doesn't even matter. There's a lot of people there. On any given day, out of 100,000 people, people are going to have medical emergencies. Fine. So when I hear that a number of people died of medical emergencies, until I attended the Ottawa protest and was within earshot, pun intended, of a concussive grenade, I didn't put together that medical emergencies can be induced by police activity, by pepper spray, by rioters' activity as well. Never put it together that the medical emergencies that led to many people, 6 to 8 people dying on that day, whether or not it's a statistical, a question of statistics of 100,000 people on any given day, there will be people who will have heart attacks, whatever. Never occurred to me until attending the Ottawa protest that some medical emergencies can be triggered by external events. Heart attacks, arrhythmia, strokes, could be, in theory, triggered by concussive grenades, by pepper spray. And now I do question, of the medical emergencies of the day of January 6th, how many were induced medical emergencies from flashbangs, tear gas, whatever? Okay. Setting all that aside, I'm going to bring this back because we have to. By the way, this is the other half of the bipartisan January 6th committee. It's laughable. It's laughable in its preposterousness. It's laughable. First of all, he goes from laughing to trying to squeeze a tear out of his dry, disingenuous tear duct. It's like trying to squeeze water from a rock.
Fuses.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And by the way, I don't judge necessarily going from laughing to crying. Under certain situations of trauma, it can make sense. But listen.
And thank you to my colleagues on the committee.
Make yourself cry.
Thank you to our witnesses.
Let's get it. Dig deep,
I never expected today to be quite as emotional for me as it has been. I've talked to a number of you and gotten to know you. I think it's important to tell you right now, though. You guys may individually feel a little broken.
As a parent, by the way, this is called planting the seed. This is called when a kid bumps his head and you go, "Oh, are you okay?" You plant the seed that the kid's not okay so that you get the reaction out of the kid that you're ostensibly trying to avoid. Kinzinger is planting one heck of a seed here. Bro, it's not to be demeaning or downplay police stress. January 6th was a violent protest. That's the extent that I'll qualify it as. To say that day should have broken any police officer, with the exception of those who were actually seriously injured, to suggest that that should break an individual as though it was a 9/11 where you see your brethren climbing the flights of stairs to rescue people and then you see that building collapse, to even equate it to that and to say that anything that occurred of those violent, rowdy protesters who broke windows, shoved cops, did use pepper spray, that any police officer should be broken from that. Kinzinger, you are infantilizing the police force so that you can get them to get up there and sob in front of your bipartisan committee so that you can make this day out into something that it never was. I don't make fun of people for crying. I make fun of people for being disingenuous phonies. And here, Kinzinger is a big fat phony. Cue the Peter Griffin. Fat phony.
You guys all talk about the effects you have to deal with, and you talk about the impact of that day.
Look at that. Look at
You
this.
guys won.
Oh, pull the Bill Clinton. You guys won. Oh, disgusting, laughable, phony is what that is.